but at the end of the day, we're all human. I think trans people, the reason why there's more trans people probably today, even if we want to, I'm not quite religious, but if there are Christian folks out there that want to look at it in that way, it's like maybe God are putting more trans people on earth because of what's going on with the gender wars. There's a lot of women that are being mistreated and men that are lonely, and there's a lot of things that are going on, and trans people being able to navigate. Hey, I've been in both bathrooms. They both smell like shit, and I can tell you that you're both going through shit. And maybe, like maybe we can meet here and look at each other and support each other. And trans people might be part of that awakening in human evolution. Like there has to be a reason why trans people exist. And it's not because of the devil, because the trans people, we're humans.
Yeah,
We're
no,
literally
and
just,
and
it's society that creates this ideology that it's this, that, and the other. It's mostly Republicans. It's mostly folks that are religious, but there's even folks that are like casual to ideas that even fall into the trap of, well, trans people are this and trans people are that, and gawk at us that we're not human beings at the end of the day.
well,
Well, we just,
I
we
get
shit and
upset
piss
when
like everybody else.
I get upset when people who are Christian tell me that I'm going against God's vision for me, and I know I'm embracing God's vision of who
Yeah.
I am. I was made trans. There's no doubt that I'm trans. I'm sorry if it's not what you think is normal in the world, or what should be considered normal. It's how I was born, and it's how God created me. And the fact that it took me 53 years to finally realize that I could embrace how God created me, that's when I finally started living. And it truly was. Yes, God doesn't make mistakes. God made me trans, and it's like God doesn't make mistakes. He made a kid with a cleft palate, okay? That was how that was supposed to be. We don't get to pick and choose how we're created. It happens, and it's something that we basically have no choice over. So to legislate against this for something that we basically have no control over. It's how we're created.
Well,
Do we know the cause? No, but do we have to know the cause? We know we exist, and that's, to
yeah.
me, is more than anything just evidence of that it is a part of the normal human condition.
Yeah. And just like if I had beliefs that others wouldn't believe in, I wouldn't want others, like the idea that we need to have, especially like Christians coming in and saying we need to make this a Christian nation, we need Christian laws, we need this. It's just not what the American experience is. It's supposed to be, give me your tired, give me your hungry, give me your poor, give me everyone from the world. Like the experiment of America is the reason why we dominate in the Olympics is because of diversity. Is
And
because
individualism, and allowing people to
exactly,
be
and
themselves.
investments as well,
Yeah.
and truly cultivating and building and working as a team and support. I mean, they needed AC. They had AC in France. Like the way that America, the alleged, the lie that we were told, and sometimes see it in some spaces like the Olympics pop up and give us hope. It's like, where are we going if we're going into this Christian nation of this, that, and the other? It's
Which
we're
sect
leaving
of
out
Christian which
huge
sect of
demographic of people.
Christianity gets to control? Is it the Catholicism?
Yeah, I
Is
mean
it the
that would be like if
Methodism? I, I
how
mean,
everybody's
you
like the
can get into
trans
all
agenda.
kinds of fights. I mean, that's part of the reason why we have America, is there was a
Yeah,
fight about Christianity in Europe, and certain groups wanted to get away and be able to express their own form of religion, and not be forced to have religion. So
yeah,
for me, when you get to the point parishioners are complaining about the woke sermon that their minister just gave, and he's talking about the Sermon on the Mount, you have to question their Christianity beliefs, because I mean, it seriously is. Jesus was woke. Okay, Jesus was
listen,
woke.
honestly, Jesus, from what, listen, if the story of Christianity goes, and I'm going to say this because I said it on a TikTok, but I'll say it in this episode. Scientifically, if Jesus was an immaculate birth, there's no Y chromosome, right? So that means Jesus was a trans man. Hate to break it to y'all, but
it's
or intersex,
or
but
intersex, yeah.
from what the representation, he had the long hair, but he had the beard thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's giving trans guy. And a lot of trans men I know have a lot of patience, so I could actually see the whole Jesus trans thing. But just scientifically, there's no Y chromosome in that space. So the idea that you're following somebody who would do all of these things in the name of Jesus, Jesus would have totally hung out with trans people. Jesus might have been trans themselves. And according to the story that y'all follow, is that he came from, an immaculate birth. There's no male DNA there scientifically. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we could get onto all of that, but at the end of the day, it was a very patriotic experience being at a Democratic convention, more so than I remember it at any time previously. There were a lot of flags. There were a lot of
I wanted to
chants
put
of
a flag on
USA.
the back of my car. I'm not gonna lie, like, it did something to me, and I hate to say that. Listen, I love going off on tangents too. My apologies if I'm going left and right on you, but like, that's just how I go sometimes, just to dance around this. But
oh yeah, no, I mean, I think we're having a great conversation. Everyone's kind of got to
the
go.
American flag thing, like, not since 9/11 have I wanted to put a little. You remember how everybody put flags on their cars? It's giving that moment, and not in a way that is as tragic as 9/11. It's somehow, some way, I'm feeling some hope, but I feel guilty about it at the same time, just because of all of the other nuances behind it. But I still feel hope, and I will say that's a nice feeling to feel as a trans person politically, because
and it's not just trans people who are feeling that. It's I see it across a lot of things, and
sparkle is back in people's eyes in a way that I have not seen in many years.
For me, it was such an empowering experience. I had some great things there. I mean, my Thursday was so fantastic. I got to do my broadcast with my local TV station. I got to do a really big thing in the entertainment industry, which hopefully I will be able to talk about soon. And then I got to see Stevie Wonder. I guess that was the night before, but I got to see Pink. I got to see the Chicks. It was, and I got to see Kamala give her speech. Now, it's not the first time I've seen her. I saw her speak as Attorney General. I saw her speak as AG, or as DA of San Francisco. So I actually worked with her office, both in the DA's office in San Francisco and in as AG in Sacramento. And so she's somebody who I'm comfortable with. Because I've been around her, I've seen her. We in California voted for her multiple times.
Yeah, no, we did. It's just there's those nuances of a lot of the decisions, and even just the current administration, because it's hard for me to see Biden just be so silent on a lot of the things that were going on and have been just placed into law, especially for trans folks.
Yeah, well, we only got a few more months that we have to worry about him, and then we're going to get President Harris in, and she's going to make some changes, because she actually
really does
well.
comment on it. But even if she doesn't, I have more faith, even now that I've learned more about Walz, because he does have as they said, he's really into transgender stuff or something like that. But
he's into that
transgender stuff or something hilarious. But I'm happy that Walz is into transgender stuff. I hope to maybe even meet Walz one day. I think
he is a sweet guy. I've got to
I want to go ATVing with him and hunting or something like that. Yes, I'm from California, but I still like doing all that dirty boy kind of stuff. Yes, us woke liberals do all that stuff too, and wear flannel and chop wood. And
hey, I was in the Nebraska National Guard at the same time he was, so
he seems like he's a guy to go have a good, he knows where the fucking, let me not even curse. President, let me give him some respect. But He probably knows where like a good burger joint is and like a good driving
He
range.
knows where the dive bar is. Okay.
You know, like I feel like if he would karaoke, he knows how to vogue to Madonna. Like he does it. You know what I mean? But not in a way that's like problematic. Like he actually truly knows the words and the points, and you're just like, wow, okay.
Okay, well, we are now coming up on 12:15 my time. The first podcast I did on day one, it was the only podcast I managed to do on the whole time. I don't think I finished that till like 3:30, and I was up. I had to be at the breakfast at 8, and so we did it the one day, and it was like, okay, this is going to be impossible to do this. So at some point, I do want to go over some of the clips and videos and things that I saw, people that I got to meet, and it's just the sheer pomp and circumstances of it. Like I said, we had great seats. What was it on like night 3? Every time somebody would walk off the stage, I was in the background. So
wow, wow.
So I have pictures of Bill Clinton walking off with me sitting there. I ended up dancing crazily to "Let's Go Crazy" on night 3 and getting on national television, dancing in the aisle in my pink dress with my pink blazer and my Barbie pink belt. And then I accidentally photobombed the Ohio delegation's announcement of their votes.
You're like, I'm also representing Ohio.
Oh, it was funny. Because as soon as we got done, I had to go to the bathroom really bad, so I ran up. And then when I went to come back down to my seat, they say you can't come in this way; it's closed off. You have to go up 2 levels and then walk down to the floor and come back up. And I'm like, okay. And so I have me, our national committee woman, and another one of our delegates. We're walking down, and we start walking down the staircase, and we get down near towards the bottom, and they're like, no, you gotta wait, hold on. And the next thing I know, the lights are coming on, and they're going, oh, how do you vote? And I'm sitting there going, I'm like 5 steps up from where the chair is who's making the announcement. I'm going, yay! And so I had a friend who texted me. She goes, I just saw you on television. What the hell are you doing with Ohio?
You're like, actually, I've been doing some groundwork for trans people there. I've moved to another state. I've just bought another.
I just switched my delegate status.